Good morning, friends. Time for my tea from the mug I got from the None Such Dulcimer Club in England when I got to be there 2 years ago. This is the weekly Dulcimer Crossing live feed, and I'm glad you're here. Today, December 23rd, we are going to be looking at Mary Had a Baby, Sweet Lamb, and the power of a drone in playing a minor mode Christmas carol. Let's see if I can get that lined up the way I want to. There we go. Got to play with cameras just a little bit. So the first thing is, let me change cameras and get the overhead view. I've got my mountain dulcimer here, and in order to play this tune, I want to be in DAC tuning, because the way the dulcimer is laid out is anytime I start at the first fret, I'll get the minor mode, excuse me, the natural minor scale, which is the Aeolian mode, which is a minor mode. But right now I'm in DAA tuning and the drones aren't lining up for me. So I've got to be in DAC tuning. So I'm going to raise these melody strings so that they match me at the 6th fret. Now that means my scale and my drones line up very well. And you might notice there's no 6.5 fret on this instrument. This is the older traditional way of playing. And when I start at the first fret, now my safe frets are going to be 1, 3, 5, 8. Before in the DAD tuning or the DAD tuning, my safe frets were 0, 2, 4, 7. Now here, I think Stephen Seifert's the first one who talked about frets being safe frets. And all that means is that in the key of D, which is what we're tuned to, I've got D and A drones, and that starting at D on the first fret. The third step of the scale, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are all the notes that make up the D minor chord. That's why I would call those safe notes. Those are the ones that we want to see. Okay, let's just refresh that. Good. And I forgot to say hi in the chat over here. Sorry about that. So now, this is the character of the scale, of the minor mode scale, and this tune happens to lie in it. And because it's a drone style tune, it's great. It's perfect that I just use my noter. This is the one that was made by Don Newhouser. It looks like a little hat or a half note. Let me put it over in front of my body. It might be a little easier to see. But it could be your favorite noter. It could be it could be the edge of my keys. Not my favorite. I don't like that one the best. I have a pen here that might work. And you might notice that I'm not playing with my thumb on top of the noter. I did that to begin with, and I had wrist problems and I had accuracy problems. And Phyllis Gaskins from Virginia is the one who suggested that I put my finger on top when I took a workshop with her. She's also the one that suggested I go to the dollar store, the Kmart or the Walmart, and get me a bunch of noters. They were in the laundry section and were sold as clothespins, but they turned out to be really handy, and I don't tend to lose them forever. So, but when you put your first finger on top and slide over the strings, you can use your second finger as a guide, like that. And the second finger here is what's going beside the fretboard to keep the noter from sliding all the way across. Now, we talk about all these things in the noter style lessons on dulcimer crossing. So if you want a more in-depth way of doing that, then visit us over there. But right now, this tune, Mary Had a Baby, Sweet Lamb. This is one that was collected by the Lomaxes from Texas, and Ruth Crawford Seeger, who helped transcribe a lot of those songs. That was Pete's stepmother, and Penny and Mike Seeger's mother. She put this in her American or Christmas songs from early America in her American Folk Songs for Children series, which is a gift I got many years ago on Christmas, and it was absolutely wonderful and inspirational. And I got to tell both Mike and Peggy how grateful I was for the work of their mother, because she had passed by then. But this is called a zipper song, because you can end up adding all the verses as you wish in order to sing this song. It's part of a Christmas watch song as well, which is when you're waiting all night, you're in the service, in the church house, and you're singing and singing and singing and waiting for the dawn to come up. And so you need those songs that are kind of meditative and trance-like, that once they get started, they just take you in. This is one of those songs, and it's been a favorite in our family. It starts on the 5th step of the scale. Mary had a baby, and then it always comes back to Sweet Lamb. That's the 7, 7, 7, 8. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Now it's the 4, 4, 5. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. And I'll tell you why I use this tuning is for that part right there. Hey, Rusty, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Ballpoint pen works just perfect, Mark. You're right. Good to see you. Hey, thanks for your set in the Quarantine Festival. That was lovely. I loved it. Here we go. I'm enjoying some of the images that came from that, including I love how your son sits on the drum with his head in his hands as he has his elbows on the drum as he's preparing. That's his meditative posture. Anyway, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. And I do the first phrase again. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. So it's a song that's got these components, and the Mary had a baby part is what can change and be the zipper part of the song, which means we keep adding in new lyrics as we're going along. Sweet Lamb is 7, 7, 8. Second one is 4, 4, 5. The third one is 7, 7, 8. And then everybody sings 3, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So let me give you a couple of verses as an example. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. Oh, Caesar Augustus, sweet lamb. Caesar Augustus, sweet lamb. Caesar Augustus, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. He counted the people, sweet lamb. Counted the people, sweet lamb. Counted the people, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. Well, Mary and Joseph, sweet lamb. Mary and Joseph, sweet lamb. Mary and Joseph, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. To Bethlehem, sweet lamb. Bethlehem, sweet lamb. Bethlehem, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. You see how I'm just telling the story? I'm going to get all the way to Bethlehem. There will be no room. They'll be in the stable. And we'll end up in the shepherds and the fields and all that kind of stuff. It's coming. But what it lets us do is have kind of this, the drones are kind of building up almost like Indian ragas, where the drone is there as the heartbeat of life. It just keeps on going steadily, and we can get ourselves into a more meditative state as maybe only the leader does the words that are different and tells the story, and everybody else is kind of doing the amen part by saying sweet lamb, sweet lamb, sweet lamb, which is actually the way we do it in our family. And now we talked about safe notes before, the 1 3 5 7 7 8. That flat 7 right there, that te do instead of ti do, is one of the characteristics of the Aeolian mode. But you know what? There is one fret that we're not playing. Let's see if we can do it. Now I'm going to call them out now. 5 4 3 1 7 7 8. 5 4 3 1 4 4 5 1 0 1 3 1 5 7 7 8 3 2 1 1 0 1 1. So I start on 5. So I played 5 4 3 1 7 7 8. 5 4 3 1 4 4 5 0 1 3 1 7 7 8 3 2 1 1 0 1 1. I played every fret in here except the 6th fret. I never did. This is one of those songs that is not using all the steps of the scale. So it's a heptatonic song. It's got 6 of the possible 7. So I've tuned it as if we're playing out of the Aeolian shapes, but this would also work in a Dorian mode tuning if you wanted to, because we're not using the note that tells us whether it's Aeolian or Dorian. We're using all the other ones, and that flatted 7 is a key of both the minor modes. But here's the reason that 0 1. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb, Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. And sometimes we'll sing, oh sweet lamb, oh sweet lamb. Now, I don't know if you have I believe it's completely erroneous connection of thinking minor mode tunes are sad. That seems to, I don't know if it happens outside of the United States. I know we sure do it a lot here in the United States. But there seems to be the understanding, and I believe it's completely erroneous, that major mode songs are happy and minor mode songs are sad. They do have different emotional qualities that they can evoke. This week, just so you know, I'm not the Grinch, I have been listening to a lot of music, and there are major mode songs that make me cry. There are minor mode songs that make me cry. There are major mode songs that make me laugh. There are minor mode songs that make me laugh. It's not dependent on the mode. My emotional response is different. It's separate from that. So I think if we tune our ears a little bit, we can start to hear the difference. Now, let me just pause and ask if there are any questions that you have here. The other thing I wanted to do, let's go to, let's share the screen. At Dulcimer Crossing, let me go back one. From the front page, you can see there's a link to our Christmas time lessons. And we have all the songs that we have right now that are recorded on video for several different Christmas carols and Christmas tunes. Out of these, let's see, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen is definitely an Aeolian tune. I Wonder As I Wander is a minor mode tune. Mary and the Baby is right here. There's a whole lesson about it. We Three Kings is minor and major. So these are the ones that we have available at this time. But if you find this, when we talk about how do you get to this tuning and then go through the whole noter style, you can see this one is taught on an instrument that also has a 6.5 fret. So if you're trying to negotiate that, that's how you can do that. But that's an example of where you can find this tune. This tune is also in my, let me hold it up this way. This way, is that better? There we go. Yeah. Dulcimer Friendly Worship Volume 3, 'Twas in the Mood of Wintertime, is Christmas in the Mellow Mode. These are all minor mode Christmas tunes. Are suitable for all seasons of the winter. And you can see there's history on one side, and there's the musical notation and tablature, and then hammer dulcimer chord shapes, which is what those are, portable shapes that let you move around in the instrument to find the chords. I'm using that as the example of every one of the tunes in that book is a minor mode tune for this season. When I made the book, one of the things I did research, I bought everybody's book. Yes, mode is not a mood, Jim. That's a good way to say that. I bought everybody's Christmas books. I did research that way. And I knew what was available in the dulcimer world at the time. And no one was providing tablature or notation for these tunes. Every one of the other ones were major mode tune books. They weren't advertised that way, but they were. And I realized, there's something I love, and it's not there. So that's why I did that book. And I did a recording also called 'Twas in the Moon of Wintertime. There's a good example of a plagal type tune, like we talked about last week, that also has a harmonic thing in it. And we're not going to have a chance to get into all those kinds of fun stuff today. But it turns out that unlike some other instruments, it's very easy to play when I'm tuned this way. There are some tunes that have that T-do down below do instead of the Te-do here. And because we're tuned D-A-D, we can pick up that note in the middle string. We'll talk about that separately on another time. Now, I wanted to also, that's what I was trying to do over in Dulcimer Crossing. We also have if I go down, I can look at lessons by genre, but if I go down to, or by skill level, but if I go down to lessons by genre, you can see there's a traditional noter style series of lessons. And if I click on there, we have the traditional noter style, which is a series of lessons, 13 lessons there. And then, pictured as a Galax style instrument, but you can play this on a standard instrument as well. And then there's some tunes that are played in the Galax style. So if you I wanted you to know where you could get that. Now let's go back to this tune. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. It's a holy baby, sweet lamb. It's a holy baby, sweet lamb. It's a holy baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Now, my way of playing this right now is to play the melody I'm singing, but I could also play, oh, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Oh, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Oh, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. And just go from 0 to 2. I mean, 0 to 1. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. That one doesn't speak to me as much, so the 4/4/5 is not. I'm probably not going to do that one. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. I don't think I like that one as much either. Mary had a baby. Mary had a baby. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. 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 I don't think I like that one as much either. So I might just, because it's distracting to me. So in this particular tune, I experiment by looking at all my safe notes and looking if there's anything around that I can play that's going to give me a nice complementary harmony. And I didn't find one that was very complimentary. I found some things that I didn't like, but I experimented to try them and see. Is this one I'm going to like? I don't know. Let's go see. Now let's see if I can find this. Aha. Let me try again. Sweet lamb. Sometimes you got to remember your search strings. Oh my goodness, that's a file that's over 10 years old. Let's let the file open up and see if you have any questions in the meantime. Now this version does not show the portable chord shapes. But it does show 5. You'll notice that a possible chordal accompaniment here. Oh, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. And then there's a possibility of an F chord. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. The other thing to remember is that if I play 001, I've got what could be a D minor chord. I don't know for sure. It's a power chord. If I play it at the 3rd fret, I've definitely got a D minor chord. If I play it at the 5th fret, it could be a D minor chord. If I play it at the 8th fret, it could be a D minor chord too. F is the weird one. In the DAC tuning, 603. That lets me have a C on the bass, an A in the middle, and a C or an F natural in the melody. which are all the 3 notes I need to get an F chord. This is if you don't have a 1.5 fret. This instrument clearly doesn't have a 1.5 fret. Let me, sorry, I need to get back to the camera where you can see what I'm doing. 001 is a D minor possibility, 003, 005, 008. F is 6 on the bass, A in the middle, F on the melody. It's actually a second inversion chord of the F. There's no F on the bottom, F is on the melody. And then if I go to 100, I've got an E, an A, and a C natural, which are the notes you need for an A minor chord. Which is why when I just rock back and forth, let's go back and show the music again. Now I'm playing the chords that are up here at the top that are stacked, the stacked numbers here. Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. 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 Mary and the baby, sweet lamb. So playing this 0 to with the drones work, adding the E in the bass, which gives you a stronger switch of chord, is another option. You'll notice that I don't have zeros everywhere. It's because, I don't know about your eye, but if I see too many zeros, I start seeing no changes. And I want to focus on the changes. Oh, Mary and the baby. Now that's not strictly noter style playing when you go and change something on a different string. But what I'm showing you here is if I just put the Mary had a baby, put the pulse, which is where the strum across all the strings goes, on the second beat of the measure, it gives that old-timey backbeat feel. Oh, Mary had a baby, sweet lamb. 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 But of course, you can strum as much as you want. That's up to you. This acts as a chart or a way to demonstrate what's possible. Give you a map that you might want to cover. You notice I got my party lights on here because it's party time. I wish you a wonderful celebration of the holiday. Just have a Merry Christmas. Yes, exactly. Strum as much as you want and have a Merry Christmas. But I really enjoy this opportunity to come to you and share with you things that can help our music playing. So thank you for joining me in these live streams. And of course, they're available here. They're also archived on the Dulcimer Crossing webpage, and they're in the live events page, and they're archived here on Facebook. There is one more thing I want to share with you. Let me get to where that is. And that's I have a concert today. There it is. Now let's see if I can share that. And this is my Steve Yulberg Owl Mountain Music page. And at 4 o'clock Pacific, which will be 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, is when my set is. I have a half-hour set. Mother Hen is a wonderful supporter and promoter of music, and she's the one that helps me with a lot of my publicity and social media work. And she also hosts concerts. She has 2 Blue Rose concert series in Portland, Oregon, and she's been doing these online Wednesday mini mics is what she calls them, midweek mini mic, because it's like an open thing that only happens on Wednesdays for a short period of time, but this is a holiday one. My good friend Kerry Patrick Clark comes up right after me on his Facebook page, and James Lee Stanley, we got to room together at the Folk Alliance Far West a few years ago. He's a wonderful singer-songwriter who is down from the LA area. Kerry is from Toledo, Ohio. We actually grew up not far from each other, didn't know each other until we were both full-time in music. And Kerry is finishing it up at 5:10 to 5:40. So my set is from 4 to 4:30. But it's going to be a live event like this is on Facebook, but on my Owl Mountain Music page. So let me put that in as well. Oops. Let me stop the sharing. And let's go to Dulcimer Crossing. There we are. Okay. Here's my Facebook page. Oops, nope. I hate that it keeps wanting to fill in things unless I put a period in. No, not at 4:30. I got to edit that. 4 o'clock. So I'll be there. But I hope you have a wonderful celebration of the holiday, and I look forward to talking with you next week. Maybe we'll focus on all the new things that you got because a lot of musicians have big hopes for some special new thing that's coming. There is one more evening prayer service tonight, which is the Dulcimer Friendly Evening Prayer Service, the play along service. And if you would like to sign up for that, there is a registration that's needed. Then if you sign up early, I can get you the play along materials. There's a booklet that goes along with it. And tonight at 6 p.m. PST, it's the final in the Advent series. Play along. Let me write it all in. Oh, Terry said she's got a new Dulcimer arriving tomorrow. Woohoo! The link to okay, I gotta do all of that. The link to participate, to register is here. And when you do, then I can get you that. So here's the evening prayer service that I was talking about, Terry. And the other will be a live concert set on my Owl Mountain Music page on Facebook. So I'm going to bid you farewell for today. And thank you for joining me and for having some fun with this minor mode tune. If you want to know more about those things, you can always contact me at steve@dulcimercrossing.com, which is also a great place. I've got a lot of great suggestions for live streams that are coming up. And if you have a specific question or an aha, some of you have been sharing aha experiences with your music and the Dulcimer Crossing page. And that's always exciting to see. So I wish you wonderful holidays, and I'll